welcome to another episode of the... Whoa. It's a leap of faith.
Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger?
Okay, so obviously I have spidey senses, but not the web shooting. So to fix that, we'll make one. Okay, so first is the bullet. The bullet is pretty simple. It's just a cylindrical body with a small cutout that you see there. And essentially there is going to be a small piece that gets wedged inside to hold it in place from, being launched out, and that'll make more sense later on. Anyways, the blue that you see on the top is also the magnet, and that's what's going to create the sticky effect to, grab this participation trophy.
It's not my fault, that's the only time.
Okay, so second is the canister. But before I talk about how the canister works, I think it's also important to understand how the entire mechanism works as a whole, because that's what the canister is built on. Essentially, we'll be using a spring that's attached to the bullet to
when I say bullet, I mean like a children's toy.
So essentially,
like
when the
WCPS's,
spring is compressed,
could you please stop blocking my
constantly
videos?
Wants to shoot out. If you're wondering why, that's the Broke Engineer's second law of motion. You should probably study it in your physics class.
I'll stop.
Okay, so jokes aside, you guys can see that the spring is compressed independently of the web, right? So that creates the force that wants to go upwards. And you see that the key part of what's causing this compression is those two blocks there going this way, kind of blocking the spring's pathway and creating that compression. And that's what this canister is supposed to mimic. Speaking of compression, why did the file go to therapy? Because it couldn't handle the pressure of compression. Yeah, ChatGPT sucks. I'm switching to Gemini now. Okay, so back to component number 2, the canister. So as you guys can see, there is a solid extrusion going downwards, as well as a little gap in the bottom. And this does two things. The top solid extrusion kind of acts as the guide rail for the bullet, and the bottom hole that you see there is it's just space for another extrusion, separate of the canister, of course, to come in and go out as it pleases. And if you remember, the bullet actually had a certain gap, the exact same shape as that, and what this hole allows us to do is insert something to hold the bullet in place, so that when the bullet is trying to, shoot out because of the spring, the mechanism that holds it in place can hold it in place. The mechanism that holds it in place can hold it in place. Yeah, I think this is why I failed my last English test. Okay, so I have the photo of the idea for the bullet release mechanism up, but I also want to demonstrate how it works in real life. So to do that, I have this charger, which I'll be using. So essentially, assuming that my hand is the red piece or the arm holding thing, right? It'll hold the block in place, the block that holds down the bullet, of course. It'll hold it in place, and as you apply tension to the string, it'll pull it upwards, and as you release tension, it'll pull it downwards, right? And it'll automatically be stopped by the shape of the block, right? So as you guys can see, I can't pull it any further than this because my finger is touching the top of this circle and not allowing it to go through. And with that same logic, I'll be using it to pull and release the launch mechanism. Okay, so my initial idea for the pull mechanism or launch mechanism was kind of like a seesaw, and though it may seem stupid, I was kind of onto something. So, say we take a point on the seesaw here and here. It's the same point, but depending on like where you press it, you know, the distance changes. So usually at the resting position, there's say 10 inches that way and 4 inches this way, right? But after you push down the seesaw, even though you still have the same 10 inches, the height of it changes to, let's say, 6, and that creates more tension in this direction. In this direction, right? And based off of this change in tension, I was going to use that to kind of yoink out the release mechanism or the block that holds the shooter in place. Now, this idea wasn't horrible, but the main problem was that for it to be able to work, the seesaw had to be kind of high, and it would most likely block the web shooter. And if we designed it in such a way that it didn't, by maybe like raising the elevation of the shooter and keeping the pad lower, it would just be hard to design and weaker structurally, so I decided to go in a different route. Okay, so as you guys can see in the photo, as your hand is stretched out, you're applying more tension and holding it in, and as your hand is closed, you know, you're pulling it less, so the string is going to release the block. So now I can finally be broke man. Wait a minute.
Can someone tell me why when I searched up broke in the clipchamp video files, I found this video of my math grade?
I will say though that it is kind of a problem because in the actual system, gravity isn't exactly on our side, or the positioning of the string isn't exactly on our side. See, because in this example, the string was above, right? So it's easy to demonstrate this. But here, we need the string to be below so it doesn't interfere with the shooter, right? And to do that, it's going to take a little bit of finessing. So first, the block, it has to be kind of thinner than the gap. So it needs to be able to fit in and fit out loosely so that the tension isn't too strong and kind of blocking the thing from being able to fall out. So when your hand is fully stretched out, the tension in the string is at its maximum and it's holding the block in place. And once you reel it in, like you're about to shoot, you're changing the distance of the string, lowering the tension, and making the block fall out. Now it's time to start the CAD.
Running like crazy, lost in the night, chasing the moon till the morning light. Heart's a wildfire burning bright, I'm just a shadow in your sight. Through the alleys where shadows dance, feet on fire with every chance. Hidden secrets, hidden plans, life's a wild, chaotic trance. Run wild, run free, no chains on me. Through the storm and the mystery, run wild, run free. Can't you see, this crazy journey's where I wanna be. Restless moments in the wind, catch the stars, let life begin. Every heartbeat, every sin, running crazy, won't give in. on fire with every chance. Through the alleys where shadows dance, feel the light, the chaotic trance. Through this moment in the wind, catch the stars, let life begin. Every heartbeat, every...
With the CAD done and the sun shining brightly, I decided to make a thirst trap. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Now, if you guys don't mind, I gotta go be a friendly neighborhood broke man.
You can't say that, bro. Like, I know it's your name, but it sounds insensitive.